Shalom, shalom. Want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Harakak Badash. Double honors to my old apostles, great millstone, who rule and teach well, and who taught me this truth. And honors and salutations to the men of the Lord. All right, doing the same and teaching the same. And shalom to the rest of the elect. Okay, and pretty much going to be speaking on two news updates. All right. And I seen one video from I think it was GMS Keep Pushing, I believe so. All right. And he did a sit down going into how Esau is nervous about the so-called UFOs, which the Bible calls chariots, a wheel within the middle of a wheel, whirlwind, clouds. Okay, these are biblical terms for what the world know as UFOs. UFOs are spaceships, okay, or IFOs, right? And it just show how they're really panicking, but they're not gonna, of course they're not gonna show it to their citizens, okay? But these military soldiers, they're seeing, especially the ones in jets, the ones that's in these jets and constantly flying through the sky, they're seeing the chariots, the so-called UFOs, they're seeing it up close, okay? Even the ones, at these different military bases where a chariot have, just hovered over it, parked over it. And that has happened multiple times. So of course those soldiers, they're not allowed to say anything. Okay? But they're having so many meetings, and you conspiracy theorists, most of the time you're right, but when it comes to the chariots, the so-called UFOs, you're wrong, because you got these conspiracy theorists, they're saying that it's not going to be, well, they don't think that the UFOs are real, okay? They think it's Project Blue Beam and just the elites, they're going to stage a false flag event, with the UFOs and things like that, which these elites, they very well have the technology to fake an alien invasion. They do. They have the technology to do so. But the elect Israelites of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, and Lord willing, hopefully, I'm of the elect number. The elect won't be deceived. Okay? So in these last days, Esau is going to come with mass deception, and they're definitely going to use AI to do so. All right. Even when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites, all right, they're going to be using all type of deception and sorcery to try to persecute the Israelites, and also make the Israelites look like pure evil. So though we are coming into those times, all right, but speaking, which we've been saying this, all right, but the so-called UFOs are real, all right. They're biblical vehicles for the Lord and the angels, okay. So and that's how the Lord is coming back, all right. That's how Yahweh Shah and the angels is coming back, and that's how they're going to take over the world. Okay? So I'm not saying that it's not possible that Esau going to stage possibly, alien invasion. Okay? They very well could do that, but we understand, according to the Bible and according to prophecy, the Lord and the angels will invade this earth. All right, and that's with promise that really will happen. It's not fairy tale or nothing like that. Okay, so I'm gonna start here. Also, you got the situation. Trump. Babylon the Great America. They're kicking their allies to the curve. I repeat, they're kicking their allies to the curve. Okay, and one of their allies being South Korea. So supposedly, not supposedly, it was in the news, but Trump, he asked, South Korea to help with the Iran situation to keep them from getting nuclear missiles. And of course, South Korea didn't want no parts of that. So Trump is very pissed. That's one of the reasons why Trump is pissed off at South Korea. All right, and and supposedly he's cool with North Korea now. All right, and of course he's been making threats to Oman, someplace in the so-called Middle East, south of the Middle East. That's close to close to the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so hey, this is heating up. It's heating up, and it's like the more decisions that Esau make, that Babylon the Great make, it's the further and further they hurting themselves, and then for two, they're dragging themselves more and more into World War III. Okay, so that shows you can't escape destiny. All right, Babylon the Great America, destiny is written in the Bible, and it can't escape it. All right, so yeah, even though you got both sides of the government, they're mad at the decisions that Trump is making. What you people don't understand is the Lord is controlling him. Okay, the Lord is the Lord put a spirit of deception and took their discernment away. Okay, this Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Yahweh, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. That's right. So having wisdom, knowledge, understanding, good judgment, and things like that all comes from Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. Okay? If the Lord is against you, you're not going to prosper. All right? And this is precept, trying to remember it. Bear with me, let me try to find it. All right, bear with me. Here you go. So there's Jeremiah 51 and 25. Okay? And it goes, it even goes for you Israelites. Say you're trying to, because you got a lot of Israelites, like I got a co-worker, he be doing the scratch offs at the gas station, and I got an uncle too, he be doing the scratch offs at the gas station. They may win $100 here, $200 there, but they're trying so hard and praying that they, win $100,000 or win $1 million. But guess what? If the Lord is not with you on that and wants you to prosper, hey, it's not going to happen. All right? So, of course, the false prophets of Babylon the Great America, they're going to be saying peace and safety. They're going to be lying, and deceiving the people. All right? Because you citizens of Babylon the Great America, you really think the Lord is going to protect America and bless America. No, the Lord is going to judge Babylon the Great America. The Lord is going to do the complete opposite. All right? You don't do a bunch of rape, rob, and murder. All right? And just sweep it under the rug and all is forgiven. No. All right? The Lord has destroyed kingdoms for less. All right? So Babylon the Great America has done great wickedness and still doing great wickedness, and is prophesied to do more wickedness. All right? That's why they got a lot of concentration camps, FEMA camps in America. All right? Because they're going to be forcing a new world order, forcing people to take the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, and those that even forcing the draft, the selective service, forcing that. And then if you reject it, you're getting thrown in prison. You're getting killed. Okay? Even when it comes to all these so-called illegal migrants, them shipping them out, which they never was, but it's all type of reports, children going missing, them raping a lot of women and children in these concentration camps like Alcatraz. So they steady doing wickedness. All right, and just covering the wickedness with lies. So this Jeremiah 51:25. Because of course in the major news, it's going to portray like everything good. It's going to portray like Babylon the Great America is doing great. The economy is great. There's no racism here. It's going to make life over here seem like freaking gold. But when you really getting the real news about what's going on over here around the world, and also just open your damn eyes and look around. This place is a third world country. Damn near. Okay? This place, Babylon the Great America, is descending into chaos. It's collapsing like lightning. Okay? So this Jeremiah 51:25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain. So the Lord is against Babylon the Great America. Saith the Lord, Yahweh, which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. So the Lord is against this place. Why you think it's chaos coming from every angle? The Lord judging this place with the weather, all type of stuff. But of course, you got the conspiracy theorists. They're gonna, they think they know more than the prophets. You got the conspiracy theorists. They saying, it's they're pretty much saying it's the government, weaponizing the weather. But so what? Even if they are, which they have HARP and things like that. Everything is being done by the Lord. All right, spiritually, everything is being done by the Lord, and that's what we're trying to tell you as the true men of the Lord. So whether it's happening, whether it's happening by the weather or, Esau is weaponizing the weather or whatever, the Lord is using Esau. The scriptures tell you, the wicked was created for the day of evil. So the Lord, and the Lord would do that. use Esau and other nations to bring about prophecy. Okay? So let's go get back to what I want to talk about the chariots. All right? This Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. That's right. Because people around the world, they're going to be seeing Israelite men, women, and children being beamed up, come up hither, all right, being, taken up into the chariots, the so-called UFOs, all right? They're going to see this, all right? And it very well could be televised, all right? Because not everywhere on the earth is going to be experiencing a blackout or EMP attack or, have no, access to, internet or anything like that, to the power. Okay? And we speculate that as prophets, even, when the second coming of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shah come back with the host of the angels, it's going to be televised. It's going to be breaking news. All right? The Lord's chariot is going to block out the sun. All right? Let me see what I want. And even the situation, this Joel 2, and then we get straight to it. This Joel 2:30. And I will shoot wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Okay? One of those wonders is seeing the chariots everywhere. Okay? People are freaking out. That's like that's one of the main topics in 2026. Like, it's so serious that the government, and governments around the world are having, meetings about the UFOs. All right? And you got people, they literally setting up telescopes and all type of stuff, and they making it a hobby. It's trending. The chariots of the Lord is trending. The so-called UFOs are trending. Okay? You got people literally, going on vacation, going hiking and things like that, to solely see a so-called UFO, and recording it. Like, yeah, we're going to see if we can see one tonight. I got this such and such telescope, so this is serious. All right? And it's a wonder to the world, but to us in this truth, we know exactly what the so-called UFOs are. That's our ticket out of here. That's our salvation for the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the 12 tribes. But only a small remnant, elect few, is going to be saved. All right, in these last days. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to end it and give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Harakak Badash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, ruling teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same.